Magnolia 10 years in the future. There were two girls in the Fairy Tale Guild library, both 7 years old. They were reading a children's storybook. Layla was blonde and Amy was redheaded. Tell me, Layla, are you sure you like reading these kinds of books? They're a bit boring? Amy asked. Of course, Amy, Mom says these books are for our age, because the others are more complicated to understand. Let's go find something more interesting like the books Aunt Levy reads, said the blonde. If you want. Layla was focused on the book. Amy stood up from the armchair where she was with her sister and went to look for another type of book, perhaps with information on combat magic. Let's see, this library is full of nonsense. Let's see. Potions. Rune writing. Erotic literature. Children's literature. Universal magic. This one is interesting. I'll tell Layla to read it with me. Look, sister, I found something more interesting. Amy arrived with a smile. Let's see, said the little blonde. They both opened the book and out came an ancient language but with the words of the present. Tell me, Amy, is it okay for you to take these kinds of books? Layla said, somewhat scared. Don't worry, nothing's wrong. They both read what the strange book said and a light came out of it, blinding them both for several seconds. Magnolia present 10 years earlier. A blue-haired book lover was in the library reading some book about ruins and ancient language. Let's see, I've almost read this library, Levy said. Suddenly he heard a small knock coming from further back on the other side of the library. Surely a book had fallen, but when he went to check, he found two little girls hugging each other. Who are you? Are you okay, little ones? Asked the writing magician. Ah, Aunt Levy. Both girls hugged the blue-haired girl because of the scare she had with the book. Who are they and how do they know my name? The girl asked. She didn't understand where those two little girls came from and above all they called her Aunt Levy. The two of them broke away. You're Aunt Levy, of course we know you because we're from this guild and you're one of our aunts, Layla replied. Tell me, Layla, Amy spoke, nothing happened with the book, maybe it was a magic that didn't work. I think you're right, I don't think it worked. Levy still didn't understand who they were. They called her Aunt again, even though they're both very pretty. Wait, Levy, what are you thinking? You have to find out where they come from. Tell me what your little ones are called and where your parents are. Aunt Levy, you look younger. Both of them noticed the face and appearance of the magician, said Amy. You're right, he looks younger, maybe it's some kind of new spell you created or learned, Layla replied. This isn't going to get me anywhere, I'd better take them outside and ask someone, maybe someone knows these two, Levy thought. Well, it doesn't matter, let's go outside and tell me what happened. The three of them left the library and at that moment the entire guild was watching them. Hey Levy, who are those girls? They're so cute, asked the albino waitress. They weren't in the library a moment ago, nor do I know how they got in. Still at the bar she was a little pink-haired eating a lot, when I turned to look at her they both went to talk to her. Look To-san, we found this book, both girls said. Towson? The whole guild looked at them, just so people know NATSU didn't have any daughters, he was still 20 years old and didn't even have a girlfriend. The words of those two made NATSU swallow his food, he didn't understand anything. Tell me who your To-san is, little darlings, NATSU spoke to the girls who were next to him. Well, you To-san, who else could it be? Both pointed at NATSU with their fingers. What the heck? Everyone in the guild exclaimed. What tea? The entire guild was surprised by the two girls' response, they pointed at NATSU with their fingers saying that he was their father. Hey NATSU, you hadn't told us you had a couple of little angels like these, what are they called girls? Look, he decided to intervene and hug the two little ones like teddy bears. Aunt, look, you're squeezing me really hard, Layla said breathlessly. You're squeezing me too, Aunt, Amy said also breathlessly. Aunt, look? Aw, what pretty girls, can I keep them, NATSU? The albino waitress spoke, suffering from a tenderness attack. We can't, Aunt, look, they worry if we don't get home late, I speak entirely of authority. That way of speaking sounds like someone to me, I just can't tell who it is, said Elfman. The little ones separated from Mira, who was squeezing, and stood behind NATSU. To-san, Aunt, look, it's scary, I speak Layla, tenderly. That woman hasn't changed, she's still a pretty psychopath, said Amy, scared and pointing. Oh no way, NATSU carried both of them, tell me what they are called, little ones, because I don't know them. Dad is still funny, smiled the blonde, I'm Layla Dragneel. No way, I'm Amy Dragneel. Okay, Amy, Layla, NATSU took a deep breath. The guild was surprised. They were actually Dragneels, descendants of NATSU. Shut up and let me think, shouted the pink-haired boy. He headed to where Lishana was. Hey Lisa, could you give these two something to eat while we figure out what's going on with them? Of course Natsu, Lisa was very thoughtful. What do you want to eat, little ones? Said the younger albino to the two. He left both of them on the benches and sat down to one side. I'd like a vanilla milkshake. And I'd like a strawberry shortcake. Sure, I'll be back in a moment. Lisa went to the kitchen. Thank you, Aunt Lishana, they both smiled. Tell me girls how you got to the library, Natsu said worriedly. Well, look at this book. Amy took it and told me to read it with her. After reading a few words a light came out. Layla showed the exact page, and after that we met Aunt Levy. Wait, I know this book, it's the one about time travel. I thought the teacher had thrown it away or burned it. Time travel? The two girls were scared. That's why everyone looks younger, Layla said, and Amy just nodded. I see how many years I have in the place where friends come from. Natsu changed the question and the girls just thought. You are 30. Both girls smiled at Natsu. Then 10 years later comes. The guild was still shocked, they couldn't believe what they were seeing and hearing. Many people were talking. Okay, I believe you, we'll see how to take them back to their future mothers and to my future self, Natsu said, still serious. The guild was still talking too much about the gossip that was going on. Brats, be quiet, don't you see we have a problem? Levy helps Natsu look at that book he brought to my granddaughters. The teacher appeared on top of the table. Yes, teacher, right away. Oh grandpa, you haven't changed in the future, I speak Amy. What beautiful granddaughters. Future Natsu did a good job, and it's impressive that he'll still be young in the future. Grandpa, don't teach my daughters strange things, Natsu told the teacher. Look here, little ones, what you ordered. Lishana came back with the cake and the drink. Although I have a question, the girls have who their mother is. In the future Kana intervened, which left the guild thoughtful. They had not thought about it. Let's see, he said, look, they don't seem to be daughters of the same woman. They don't have hair like Natsu and they have blonde hair and the other one has red hair. They have Natsu's eyes. Amy and I have two different mothers, but we are daughters of Natsu Ado-san. Layla spoke and Amy was eating the cake and making faces just like her mother. Wait, two what? Makarov speaking. That caused more gossip in the guild. Having two women is for men, I speak Elfman. Who would have thought that about Natsu? Looking closely, they called Levi Mira and Lishana aunts, plus that blonde and red hair, don't tell me. The teacher stopped dead in his tracks. At that moment two women arrived, one a celestial mage and one a re-equipper. Everyone fell silent at that moment when they saw you know who. It was logical for everyone. The girls were so focused on the food that they didn't see them. Lishana, give me a strawberry cake, I want something sweet, said ERZA. I'm sorry but someone already took the last one today, said the albino. And who was the idiot who ate my cake? I'll finish it right away. Hi Levi-chan, why the silence? Did someone die or what happened? Lucy asked. Levi didn't know what to say. The girls turned to look at the women who had arrived, and the two magicians stared at them. Who's eating my last piece of cake? I'll finish it right away, said ERZA, annoyed. Levi-chan, why so much silence? Asked Lucy. Levi didn't know what to say. The little girls, upon hearing the voices, turned around and stared at the four of them, looking at the similar faces they had. Oka-san, both girls were happy to see them. They were so happy that they left their favorite foods to go hug them. Lucy / ERZA, Oka-san? Both magicians were surprised, they just reciprocated the hug without anything else to say and looked at each other's faces. I think that explains the problem of who their mothers are, said Master Makarov. Oh, what a pity, I would have liked to be the mother of one of them too, she spoke in a sweet tone. With that, people looked at her with a drop of anime in their heads. It's a joke, don't believe everything he said, the albino responded laughing. Is there something we should know, guys? Lucy asked, somewhat confused since she had a little girl hugging her. If they should talk at once, ERZA was somewhat upset, as well as her cake. Lucy, ERZA, remember the book with which we traveled to the past, said Natsu, to which they nodded. Well, the fact is that they use the same book and come from the future. And you are our mothers, both girls said, smiling like Natsu. What? Both were surprised by the answer, but the girls dragged them to the bar where their favorite food was. Aunt Lisa, give me another straw to have a milkshake with Mom, said Layla. And my other spoon for the cake, said Amy. The guild remained silent. And tell us, girls, which men we are married to, if you can tell us, of course, ERZA asked, very doubtfully. I also want to know who my husband is, Lucy asked. Both girls looked at each other. ERZA Oka-san and Lucy Oka-san have the same husband and he is Natsu Towson. They pointed to Natsu who was at a nearby table. Both of them said nothing, they just processed the information they had just received. Eh? Both were surprised. Natsu, a redhead, got upset. You got me pregnant. ERZA changed her armor to lightning and electrocuted him a little, not much because she would still have his daughter. And Lucy wasn't far behind. Me too. I grabbed her whip and electrocuted him for the second time. It's a magic whip with multiple turns that charges with magic. They both sat back down with the girls to eat, a little relaxed now. And Natsu, well, Natsu after a few moments stood up again somewhat hurt. Wendy healed him. Having 2 wives is manly, and having 2 daughters makes you doubly manly, Elfman said. Well, future Natsu has to be happy, it's not for nothing that he has 2 women to do perverted things with. Kana. Don't make things worse for me, Natsu silenced her. So how do we fix it, since ERZA, Lucy, and Natsu from the future must be worried, Levi asked. Well, we can return them the same day they left, which is not a problem, the problem is how to return them, said the teacher. Well, the language is a bit strange, it will take several days to return them, maybe weeks, replied the writing magician. ERZA, Lucy, do you know how we got back? Natsu asked. To be honest, I don't know. Those memories are a bit blurry for some reason, said the redhead. I have those blurry memories too, Lucy said. Maybe Gray knows, but he's been on a mission for several weeks, so we can't count on him. Levi and Natsu continued looking for the book, but it was definitely in a non-unique language. The girls played with Asuka, which caused a lot of laughter in the guild, especially among the girls' mothers. Well, you'll have to stay here with us for a few weeks while we take you back. You're going to need some clothes for these days, he said. I think so. Natsu stood up and called his daughters. Layla. Amy. Come with me, let's get some clothes for you. If you're staying with us in this timeline, you'll have to have more things. The girls went with Natsu and he took them out of the guild by the hands. The guild was surprised by the pink-haired man's mature behavior. It seems that those girls respect and love Natsu-san or the one from the future a lot, said Juvia. Well, he is her father after all, said Kana, and what do future mothers think? Is it okay that he takes them shopping? I think it's okay, even if you don't believe it, Natsu has good taste in fashion, said Lucy, watching him leave with the 2 girls. I still can't believe that the 2 of us decided to share the same man, ERZA wondered. The entire guild wondered the same thing as them. The guild was a little thoughtful about recent events. Natsu had 2 daughters? And with 2 different women. Now that I think about it, the 2 girls are almost the same age, you can tell, Levi said. That can only mean, said Kana, with a perverted giggle. Don't tell me they were both pregnant at the same time, Levi replied. Ara, future Natsu isn't wasting time. Little Layla said Natsu was married to both of them, so maybe we're right. I'm going to kill that scoundrel. ERZA had a demonic aura and was ready to kill the dragon slayer. ERZA, calm down, said the teacher, if this happened like the girl said, that means you were also part of it and had to agree to take his daughter. Calm down, ERZA, we don't know what really happened, even if that happened we are also to blame, said Lucy. Don't tell me you agree with this, asked ERZA looking at her with doubt. The guild also looked at her.
Well, I have no idea what can happen in the future, but if we did it we must have had a reason, Lucy blushed as she spoke.
The guild was surprised, but not that much, they already knew how Lucy felt about her teammate. Well, we all already knew that, what do you think, ERZA? Asked Kana. I don't know, I'll go get some air, let me think about it for a moment. She left the union a little sad. Levi went back to Lucy and asked her, are you sure about this, Lu-chan? How am I supposed to know? This could be a bit difficult. I don't know how we got to this point. It's a situation I can't think about. Both of us are married to Natsu. It's hard for me. I think I'll go get some fresh air, too. With that, Lucy also left the guild. Let's hope the situation gets better at some point, Mira said, worried about her friends. It seems that they were distracted with the girls, but when they left with Natsu, ERZA and Lucy they thought the situation through, Levi replied. They have a lot to think about, especially Natsu since he is the head of all this. Well, 2 love rivals less, said Juvia. I want to know if Gray-sama accepted Juvia in the future. I will ask Layla-chan or Amy-chan when I see them. Juvia, it's better not to know more things about the future or we could have more problems, she said. Okay, look, San, said the water magician somewhat sadly. Come on Juvia, don't be like that, remember you have two less rivals for Gray's love, try harder, said Levy. Hi, Juvia will do her best. At that change of attitude, people smiled again. Elsewhere with Natsu and the girls. And tell me girls, what is life like in the guild 10 years later? Asked Natsu, who was leading the little ones by the hands. Well, everything is still normal, riots, fights and drunks, said Amy. Ko-san is very strong and keeps fighting people and challenging Uncle Gray and Uncle Elfman to fights, Layla said. You know, I'm surprised I don't believe I married ERZA and Lucy, they had 2 daughters, what magic do they know how to use? Natsu asked. Neither of us knows how to use magic, we can't control Dad's magic although we do know we have Dragon Slayer powers, look Daddy, Layla let's hit with our fists, said Amy. They both hit each other with their fists and flames came out of them. You see, Daddy, we don't get burned by fire, not even when Lucioka-san cooks, although Amy eats the fire, said Layla. He Natsu laughed, I also usually eat Lucy's fire when she cooks for Happy and me. You don't do it anymore or if you did ERZA Oka-san would hit you, while both of you cook. ERZA cooking, that's something new. According to the current ERZA, she doesn't even know how to heat water. The young man only laughed at his daughter's anecdotes. If they know fire magic, they must be his daughters, and there's no way anyone can possess that magic, it's only hereditary to possess it. They talked a little more about their family days. Natsu realized that all 5 of them actually lived in his and Happy's house, and that he had 2 wives. Behind them there was someone spying on the 3 of them, it was a blonde, it was indeed Layla's mother. Lucy found them while she was going home and decided to follow her future husband and daughters. They look like they're having fun, I'd like to join them, but they look like they're laughing, said the blonde. On the other hand, a redhead came, with an annoyed face, and grumbling about the situation. This is incredible how this situation can exist, I really have to share my future husband, besides the fact that he is the idiot Natsu, ERZA was kicking a can. Hey ERZA, stop fooling around and come here, Lucy called her and was hiding in a tree. What happened, Lucy? ERZA spoke, looking sour. Look, let's follow them, please stop complaining, if you got pregnant it's because you let Natsu do it, Lucy dragged ERZA and made her follow Natsu and the girls. Natsu took Layla and Amy to see the magnolia from years ago, it was a little different from the one in the future. They bought ice cream, went to play in the park, and finally, I took them shopping. They were happy the rest of the day while they continued to be watched. He seems like a good father to you, Lucy said. I keep wondering what we're doing here, Lucy? Don't you trust him? Please, don't you care about your daughter? At least I like the way girls feel around him. Lucy smiled at seeing them so happy. It's not that I don't care, I know she's my daughter, but I don't think she was ready for this kind of surprise, I'm not really sure. At least we know they are Natsu's daughters, they have Dragon Slayer magic, Lucy replied. Look, they're already going to Natsu's house. Do you want us to go? ERZA asked. Let's leave them with their father for today. It's obvious they're having a good time. They both went home, satisfied with what they saw. They definitely didn't know Natsu had that paternal side. With Natsu and the girls. Oh. Both little girls were impressed by the house, it was the same one as the one from the future. How is our house in the future girls? Natsu asked. It's just like this one, according to what you told us it was falling apart when you were 19 and you fixed it up, making it bigger, Layla said. If you're right, let's go to dinner and sleep. It's nighttime. They must have had a tiring day. Hi, they both said. Natsu made them food, he had taught them, he gave the girls a bath and they put on their pajamas. Later that night, Natsu put the little ones to sleep and lay down next to them. Good night Daddy, they both said. Good night my girls, I promise we'll find a way to take you to the future, this is the Dragon Slayer speaking. After they fell asleep, he spoke softly. It wouldn't be so bad to lead this kind of life, Natsu kissed both of them on the forehead and rested next to his future daughters. It dawned in Magnolia, it was a pleasant morning, a pink-haired boy had gotten up early, to make breakfast for 2 little girls who had invaded his peaceful life, but for some reason he was happy because he realized that in the future he would have a family. Well, not as I thought, although her family was going to be somewhat unusual, anyway, I would have to talk to the girls' mothers about it, have an uncomfortable conversation. To-san is making breakfast? A little redhead had gotten up, came out in pajamas, and rubbed her eyes as a sign that she was half asleep. Amy, how did you wake up today? Is your sister still not up yet? Natsu asked. Layla is just like Lucioka-san, she usually gets up late, said Amy, starting to do stretching exercises. Well, it's like having a Lucy and an ERZA in small size, Rio Natsu. After serving breakfast, Natsu went to wake up Layla. Layla wakes up, Natsu came to the room and sat next to the bed and touched his daughter a little to wake her up, but nothing happened. Layla, Natsu called the girl again, but nothing happened. I'll take care of it, To-san. Amy sat on the bed and tickled her sister until she got up. ERZA Oka-san, stop bothering me, I want to sleep. Layla got up, apparently the little one was sensitive to tickling. Sister, I'm Amy. To-san already made us breakfast. Then we'll go see our mothers. After the three of them had breakfast together, they took a bath to be clean and fresh, although Amy caused problems because she didn't want to bathe. Later in the guild, everything was normal, except for ERZA, who wasn't eating cake, plus she was very thoughtful, and Lucy was talking to Levi about the book that brought the girls back in time. Tell me, Levi-chan, have you still not found anything about time travel? Lucy asked. I still haven't been able to decipher this writing. It's a bit difficult since it's nothing I've ever known before. Let's wait and see if Freed knows anything, even though they're on a mission with Laxus. Okay, Lucy was a little discouraged. Lucy, ERZA, the master caught the attention of the two women and the rest of the guild. Is there anything new you know about them? The teacher asked. Well, yesterday, after they went shopping, I followed them. After that, ERZA helped me spy on them. It seems they're Natsu's daughters, since they have his dragon slayer magic, and I think they look like us. Lucy's talking. If they have Natsu-san's magic, then they are his daughters, since the only two ways to obtain that type of magic is to be trained by a dragon, but since there are no more, that is impossible. The only way left is by inheriting the powers, that is, having babies. Wendy is speaking. I see, said the teacher. I wouldn't mind raising a kid with magic like that, it'd be amazing, Mira said, smiling. Look, nay, this is not a time for jokes, said Lishana. But I'm not joking, Lishana, look, she smiled innocently. Having a harem is for men, said Elfman. I think the Natsu of the future has problems, living with 4 women at home, that's a big problem, said Kana, who for a change was sober. To all this, where is the father and his little angels? He said, look, I want to hug them and squeeze them. I think they're with Natsu, Lucy said. It's the first time I've seen mothers not loving their daughters. They fight, ERZA-san, this is bad, not wanting to recognize their daughters, Levi protested. Sorry Levi-chan, this is new to me, I don't even know what to do. To begin with, I don't know if she's my daughter. Lucy was a little worried. ERZA, on the other hand, was very quiet and thoughtful. At that moment 3 people arrived, the father and his 2 daughters. Hey guys, a pink-haired guy was carrying the 2 little girls. Go say hello to your mothers, girls. They both kissed Dad on the cheek and he put them down, letting them go. Well, it's clear that they really love and respect him, said the teacher. Lucy Oka-san looks at the clothes that Dad bought me. Layla approached Lucy tenderly, and showed her her pretty dress. How cute, little one, do you want a milkshake to celebrate that your father has a good sense of fashion? Lucy Rio, I had to pretend even if I wasn't sure, for the girl. Oka-san, Amy called out to ERZA, but she wasn't looking at her. Oka-san, the little girl repeated, but nothing. The older pink-haired girl remained distracted. You grumpy lady. I'm stealing your cake, Amy teased, sticking out her tongue. As you told me, little brat, ERZA looked at her angrily, but the little girl wasn't afraid. After being old and a witch, being deaf, what did you want if you didn't pay attention to me? Amy responded with the same face. Come here brat, I threatened her, but Mira Jane put a strawberry in ERZA's mouth. She did the same to Amy. If you calm down I'll give you a piece of cake. Now calm down, because they can't be like the other 2. I point out to Layla and Lucy that they live together in harmony. Tell me Natsu, are you sure they are your daughters? The teacher asked. Well, I'm sure they have my magic, and fire doesn't hurt them. As you can see, Layla is calmer and quieter. She's also lazy and wakes up late, just like Lucy. And Amy is more restless and likes trouble, just like ERZA. To-san, the witch is hurting me, I want my peanut from the future. Amy jumped into Natsu's arms in search of refuge, and he calmed her by giving her hugs. This brat, said ERZA. Calming fool, the teacher spoke to her. I have an idea, since they were already with Natsu and we discovered that they are his daughters, that rules out problems for us. Lucy ERZA, I have a task for you, each of you will spend the rest of the day and night with your respective daughter. I, Layla and Lucy replied. I have to be close to this brat, ERZA said. I don't want a witch for a mother, Amy said, sticking her tongue out at her. I'll stick with Papa or Lucio-san. It seems we have a problem with redheads, Mira mentioned. In the fairy tale guild. Natsu was eating at the guild hall. Everything was quiet. His daughters had each gone to their respective mothers. Layla with Lucy. And Amy with ERZA. I'm surprised you're still Natsu, you know your daughters left and left you here alone. Well, in theory they also have mothers, so I don't see why it can't be done, eating like an animal. I still can't believe that ERZA and Lucy married you, Natsu, he has nothing to do with being devoted to his family, sigh, look. And who was the one who had said she wanted a child with Dragon Slayer magic, said Wendy looking at Mira with a serious face. That was a joke, although you wouldn't be surprised if a little girl came saying that you were her mom Wendy, and that you were Natsu's wife? Mira asked. Well, the truth is I wouldn't believe it, I think I would have reacted but ERZA, but now I don't have time for these things, I'm going shopping with Charles, Wendy came out slightly blushing. He's probably imagining it, look at Rio with a mischievous face. Look, don't bother her anymore, let her live her adolescence without being told strange stories. Natsu approached Lisa and Elfman. I can't believe you guys put up with your older sister. She laughs like a fool sometimes. What did you tell me, strawberry hair? Look, I shout at Natsu. What you heard, silly, I'm starting to believe why my daughters hate you and avoid you, you probably just play stupid jokes on them. With that, Natsu and Mira Jane started to fight. Since there was no one strong to fight, Natsu sometimes armed himself with Mira Jane, she was the only one worth it in the guild. These two are still like children, Lishana said with a drop of anime in her head, the guild was the same. Nei-chan sometimes brings out her personality from when she was a child, Elfman didn't want to fight with his sister because he knew she was scary. With Lucy and Layla. The two blondes were walking, chatting to each other, mother and daughter. You have a very pretty name, Layla-chan. It's the same as your grandmother's. I imagine I was the one who gave it to you. Yes, you're right, Mommy, you always wanted to give me this name if it turned out to be a girl, although my sister's name was chosen by Towson. And tell me what I'm like in the future, Layla, her mother asked. Lucy wanted to know more about her future, although sometimes knowing too much can upset her. You look more like Grandma, you started wearing more clothes when you were dating Dad, Aunt Levy once said you used to dress really bold and confident. It was just my battle outfit, Layla-chan, it looked cooler back then. He, Dad says he loves Mommy more when she wears a lot of clothes because no one can look at her with indecent eyes, or at least that's what he says. Seriously, daughter, maybe I should start wearing more clothes, Lucy thought, blushing. Suddenly she should change her clothes. I better not tell you more, I promise Dad, he said this could affect our existence. You're right, you can see at first glance that you love Natsu very much and do everything he says, Lucy was a little surprised by that. Well, you're right again, Mommy, we love our daddy very much, especially Amy, since he spoils her a lot, and he also spends a lot of time with her, even more than ERZA Oka-san. I don't believe it, with everything ERZA wants to have a family. And from what we've seen it seems that ERZA doesn't love her daughter. Well, ERZA Oka-san is a holy magician, so she keeps busier outside than at home. A year after Amy was born, she was named and has a lot of work, Layla finished counting. Well, in part, it's understandable. Let's stop with the stories. We don't want to know much about the future, just like your father said. You're right, Mommy. Layla suddenly saw an ice cream stand and dragged Lucy to it. Mommy, buy me an ice cream, Layla said, smiling. Well, what can I do? Okay, how about we eat that ice cream and then go to the library to get a book I have to turn in today? Yay, the little girl jumped happily and they approached the stand. A young woman was tending the stand. Good afternoon, what flavor would you like for your ice cream? Vanilla both spoke at the same time and looked at each other, then smiled too. What a cute mother and daughter going for a walk together, surely her father is working or is on a guild mission. The young woman smiled, since she knew Fairy Tale by Lucy's mark. Well, her father is at the guild, probably fighting with one of his comrades. Lucy spoke and thought. I'm sure Natsu is messing with Mira-chan. Right now, she's the only one he can fight. After that they went to the library, Lucy went to hand in the book they wanted and then read some stories with Layla. They both had the same taste for books, they shared a quiet afternoon. When we left the library, it was already getting dark. Do you want to go to my house, daughter? Or do you want to go with your father? Lucy asked. I want to stay with you, I think my sister will be with ERZA Oka-san, Layla asked. When she got home and entered the room, Layla could see Michelle's doll and ran to hug her. I see you like that Layla-chan doll. The older blonde saw her daughter happily hugging that doll. Today I feel like moving forward with my book. Lucy took out her sheets and started writing. Layla took a couple of stories from the library and brought them home. She made herself at Lucy's house and started reading. It was later at night, and Layla's stomach growled with hunger. I see you're hungry, daughter. How about I prepare something delicious for you? The older one spoke and the younger one smiled. After dinner, they got cleaned up and changed into comfy clothes. Mom, you look a little different in the future, said Layla. Layla's laughter echoed from the bathroom as she played in the water. Oh really? Maybe I grow up a little more, Lucy laughed, trying not to blush. She chuckled to herself. Motherhood had certainly brought its share of changes. No wonder I look so different in the future. Layla is a cute girl, she looked just like me when I was younger. I guess it wouldn't be bad to have Layla in 2 years. The blonde was getting used to the idea. When she left, Lucy put Layla's pajamas on. It was a good idea from the teacher. He sent Natsu to get the girls' clothes changed before we left with them. Good night, Mommy. Layla fell asleep next to Lucy. Through the window a dragon slayer looked at the two blondes. It was normal for him to enter Lucy's house without permission. Natsu? The older blonde felt a presence and saw her friend on the side of the bed watching them, and dragged him next to her and her daughter. It's a cold night because you're not meeting up today, the girl told him. Well, I think I'll accept for today. You know, I hope Amy and ERZA are okay. Let's hope that being alone makes them get along better, said Natsu. You're right, Lucy got a little worried. Rest easy, my future family. The two slept together with Layla in the middle. Magnolia same day. The two redheads left the guild. Both had finished fighting. As mother and daughter that they had almost the same temperament, although Amy was more similar to Natsu physically except for the red hair. ERZA carried Amy's things that Natsu had bought since the teacher sent him for them, so that each girl could share with her mother. The two were walking, neither of them were talking to each other, until one moment Amy put on a sad face which ERZA could see. What's wrong, girl? Said ERZA. I want to go back to Dad, Amy said, wanting to cry, since it was obvious that her future mother didn't want to even see her. ERZA got a little worried and didn't know why. She only knew that she couldn't take it out on a child, much less on her daughter. If anyone was to blame, it was that idiot Natsu. Well, she was also partly to blame. Your father is probably fighting with Mira Jane right now. If you want to go see the albino, let me know and I'll take you. No thanks, I prefer to be with ERZA Oka-san even if she hates me, because I love her very much, even if you are an old witch. The girl was scared when she heard Mira. Really, thanks, I still see that you prefer me to Mira. Tell me one thing, why do you all hate Mira? ERZA asked. We don't really hate her, but it seems that since we were born, Aunt Mira has been very sweet with us. She seems like a stalker and always wants to hug us. Papa says that we should try to get closer to her and understand her, because she loves us very much, and it seems that Papa says Aunt Mira sees us like her own kids because she cares about us a lot, even if she can't have any herself. I can't believe that, poor thing, she must be in a bad place when she finds out what she has, ERZA thought. Amy, I want you not to tell anyone what you just told me. Please promise, if you do, I'll take you to eat cake at a shop your father takes me to when we do missions. I think I know which store that is, Mom, and don't worry, I won't tell anyone about today. With that, they both smiled, and Amy dragged ERZA into keeping her word. They arrived at a store that sold all kinds of desserts and sweets. Welcome, ERZA-san, the young woman spoke. That is your daughter, she looks a lot like you. I bet her father is Natsu-san, since she looks a lot like him. It's not what you think, it's a relative of mine who's coming to visit, that's all. ERZA was a little blushed, she was surprised by the precision of the young woman's words. Well, tell me what you want to eat. Strawberry cake, Amy/ERZA. After a few moments the girl returned with the cakes, here for the mother and daughter. The girl smiled and ERZA paid her but said nothing else. They sat at a table to eat, both making the same face while eating and the same expressions of happiness. Tell me, ERZA Oka-san, what do you like about Dad, since you've never told me? Amy spoke. Well, I think at this moment, I don't know what to tell you. Your father is cute, very loyal, he's also attentive, he would do anything for his family and loved ones. ERZA accidentally spoke too much and blushed. You don't need to say anything else, ERZA Oka-san, I'm happy to be able to be with you today. I speak Amy since my future mother doesn't stay with me. The last sentence the girl said in a low voice. What were you saying, Amy? ERZA was distracted. No, nothing, don't worry, thanks for the cake. Why don't you show me your armor, Mom? You never have since they always stayed in Fairy Hills. And isn't our house big? ERZA asked. Yes, but keep in mind that her armor fits in 10 rooms, compared to Lucioka-san who only has the maid dress that Dad gave her. Since when did Natsu buy her a maid dress? The redhead asked again. Well, he always had it, they say it was from their first mission together. I see, how about we go home and I show you all my armor? The two girls went to Fairy Hills to see the armor. They spent the whole day there. They had dinner with Juvia since she made dinner at the apartments with ERZA, but those two had bad culinary experience so it wasn't that delicious. It was already night, they took a bath and went to sleep. Hey Amy, I'm sorry I haven't paid more attention to you since you arrived, it's just that the idea still doesn't convince me completely. Don't worry since you won't be spending much time with me anyway in the future, Amy said smiling. What do you mean, I don't do it? ERZA thought about that answer for a moment. Nothing will ever understand. Thanks mommy for showing me your battle armor, it was an interesting day, you're kind of old-fashioned, but Amy still loves you lots. ERZA also loves Amy-chan, they both fell asleep together, and later that night ERZA unconsciously hugged Amy while she was sleeping.